Now, speaking of worried football teams, Browns are not beating the Niners this week. I'm comfortable going on record and saying this is not going to be Victory Monday for us this week, and it's not their fault. It's not the Browns' fault. San Francisco's just they're a different animal right now.
They
They're
say it. They're the best team in the football league. In the National Football League, San Francisco is the best team right now.
I don't know if they're it's hard to say if they're the best because I think the NFC is stronger than the AFC, but I mean Philadelphia is still unbeaten, but they haven't looked as dominating. And people who are getting on the Cowboys for losing that game, I don't think it's necessarily that the Cowboys are bad. I just think that's the difference between a good football team and a juggernaut. I know you're shaking your head right now, but
It's a good
Dallas
team,
isn't even the best team in their own division, and it's clear now. Like we can see
let
it.
alone,
Like,
let alone their own state. But yeah, that's right. That's right. CJ Stroud and them boys are coming.
oh Jesus Christ! Come on, man! Don't do that. And look, CJ's doing a lot of great things right now, so I'm happy for him. Just don't miss me with every single ounce of that. Come on, man. That's so
Dak
stupid. Anyway,
Prescott is the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. And I've said it for like 3 or 4 years now. I would never touch him on fantasy football, and I've yet to ever draft him, and it's never going to happen. And you're talking to a guy here that lost Aaron Rodgers 4 plays in to start the season. Okay.
I,
I
I,
just
I
think I think the Cowboys are vastly overrated. And yes, they get blown out of proportion because they're America's team. No, the hell they aren't. Nobody cares about the giant fancy star and the palace that Jerry built or whatever it's called. Okay, Jerry needs to retire because he's never going to win a Super Bowl as the general manager of the Cowboys. Okay, he's a Hall of Famer, all-time great. Congrats, I get that. You know, you're down the street from me forever with your bronze bust in Canton. The Cowboys are so overrated. I just don't understand why we can't just openly say it. They got blown out Sunday night. And not one time did I think they were ever going to have a shot in that game. Their defense, whether they lost Travion Diggs or not, I still thought their defense was overrated. Now, losing him does play a big factor. Micah Parsons is legit. I'm not going to dismiss that. I'm saying he's fully capable of being a guy to take over a game. Their offensive line stinks. Tony Pollard now is starting to be seen as, oh, he was good because he could keep his legs fresh, much like we had in Cleveland with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb at the same time. Mike McCarthy doesn't know what he's doing half the time. Like, let's just be honest. This team is just overrated. I think San Francisco offensively, the question has been, is Brock Purdy this good or is Brock Purdy a benefit of the environment he's in? I think both can be true.
yeah.
I think Brock Purdy is a good quarterback, and I think he is in the best possible situation with Kyle Shanahan, that great offensive line, Christian McCaffrey, who's now scored in 16 straight regular season games, Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, and George Kittle offensively, Mitch. It doesn't get much better than that. And then defensively, they're disgusting. I don't want any part of that. And I think that's why Deshaun Watson may not play this Sunday because he knows damn well where Nick
Okay.
Foles is going to line up along the line. And it's going to be in front of your favorite left tackle of all time, Jed Wills.
Okay, so let's kind of get into this. There were reports on Monday that Deshaun Watson was not practicing outside with the Browns team in their Berea facilities. It was indoors, which led everybody to think, oh, you might as well just said Deshaun Watson didn't practice at all on Monday. You might as well have just said that. So I don't know what's going on Tuesday. I haven't seen the reports yet as of now, but I'm sure they'll be coming up here soon. The whole thing last week where I think he led on the Browns to believe that he was healthier than he was. And when he just couldn't get it going, he's like, all right, we're not going to play. And the team, I don't think was at, I don't think they were ready at all. I think they just weren't as ready as they should have been for the potential of that. And because Dorian Thompson Robinson looked like a fifth round draft pick on Sunday, I think that's where Browns fans are in a panic now because it's either we have to pedal out our slightly injured quarterback, starting quarterback, or we have to bring in a guy who's not ready for the professional league yet. So that's kind of where I'm at with this, where San Francisco is just a more ready team to play. They're a more well-rounded team. Uh, People are now they've been using the videos of Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel on the Browns sideline from back in 2014 now as like we're like I know we're a doom and gloom fan base a lot of the time, but not all the time, but a lot of the time. But it's getting to a point where it's ridiculous. They were on the roster at one point. They're not anymore. Let it go. Bill Belichick and Nick Saban were on this roster back, coaching staff back in '95. Let it go.
Well, they were let go for obvious reasons out of their control.
Well, yeah, but Baltimore had the opportunity to keep them, and we'll
Yeah,
never know. We'll
I
never
get
know
that.
what the history books would be like if they had made that decision. But anyway, um, yeah, I'm kind of just reserved to the fact that there's a better team is coming to Cleveland this Sunday, and if we lose, then that's expected. If you win, then it's unexpected.
I,
Get one there. So
I, Mitch.
I'm more frustrated with the Steelers losing, beating the Ravens this week than I would be the Browns losing
Oh
to the
yeah,
Niners.
because the Steelers are the worst
This
first place
is
team I've ever seen.
it's so
It's ridiculous.
stupid.
I
Like
to see a defense be able to bail out a team as much as the Pittsburgh Steelers defense does, and
and
to see their crowd actively booing their all and chanting to fire their offensive coordinator during games. Look, man,
well,
we know the lowest of the lows.
yeah.
No, we probably did that with Joe Woods, didn't we?
Here's
I
no.
don't.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You saw that we all saw the clip of Canada on that last touchdown that Pickett threw.
Yeah,
What happened there?
I
Was
think
that?
Kenny. I think Kenny Pickett audibled.
Do you think he did? I didn't know if
I
he
do.
was like so focused on the game that he didn't want to celebrate. That was very interesting.
I
So
really do.
because it'd be one the fan base, the Steelers fan base hates Matt Canada. We know that. It's one thing if they hate him and the team's just kind of sticking by him, but it's because you see the things like what was that one clip? There was a clip of the Steelers walking into the locker room. It might have been at halftime of a game or after a victory. I don't remember. You hear
Yep.
Canada cheering something, and the kicker for the Steelers, Chris Ballard, yeah, he says some. You hear him say something along the lines of, "Wasn't because of you though," and I don't know if that was necessarily targeted towards Canada or if this was at something else out of context. That's what people are starting to latch on to. Like even the team's starting to hate him now, and for and if it is, it's kind of for good reason. The offense is terrible. Kenny Pickett doesn't know how to throw football until there's 2 minutes left in a close game, and then for some reason he just throws to Pickens all the time, and he
Was
just
wide open, like just somehow always wide open.
Baltimore had so many drops yesterday that would have gone for scores or big gains. It was ridiculous. And to blame Lamar Jackson is ridiculous because he's the one that's keeping you in these games and getting you guys out ahead. But to see this Steelers team be 3-2 is so frustrating because this is not. If it was a good team, it's one thing. If this was like the 11-0 Steelers from 2020, it's fine. But this is not fine. This is a mid Steelers team, and for Steeler fans, mid might as well be 4-13.
This is a team with a negative 31 point differential.
I
That's in
know.
first place in the AFC North.
So why can't we beat them? Why can't the Ravens beat them? I don't
It
know.
doesn't make the only thing I know that I was happy to see is that TJ Watt doesn't only just go off against us because he was a menace
But
against
yeah, like even
the Ravens.
he now is probably the most dangerous defender, like single defender in the league now, even more so than Miles, even more so than a number of other guys, maybe even more so than what his brother used to do. It's frustrating how the Steelers always do this. They always find a way. They could have a college roster on their team and somehow go 9-8, which for them it's a disaster because they're good enough to make the playoffs, but then they get ousted in the first week and they don't get any high draft picks and they don't know they don't do that. But that's never been the Steelers thing. They always pick in the 20s. They always pick some guy that'll be serviceable for them, and they'll always find a way to make that guy, if not a perennial Pro Bowl or a perennial starter. Whereas
Yeah,
other teams, it's not as successful. But yeah, that's where
that's
we are.
all I'm going to say before we end this segment is I don't think Deshaun Watson should play Sunday.
You don't think he should play Sunday?
I don't. I don't. Do you have full confidence that this offensive line can keep a guy who's right now protected? Because I don't.
Some guys I do, and some guys I don't. You know which ones.
Primarily the left side of the offensive line, like everybody else here in Cleveland's worried about.
I'm so happy everyone's gone on my side. I'm so happy. Nothing against him personally, but God, I've been frustrated with him the last 3 years.
You then go to Indianapolis. There's a chance there's no Anthony Richardson there. Right? That's a winnable game. You go to Seattle. They don't scare me, Mitch. They really don't. Not with how this defense is. I think our secondary can keep those guys in check. Then you come home and you play Arizona. They're a gritty football team. I will give them that.
Yeah.
They are a lot better than what I thought they would be, which was the worst.
Cincinnati a game.
And then they go to Baltimore. Your next 3 games, I think, are extremely winnable. And if you cannot, obviously you can't promise because things happen, but when you're going against this front that the Niners have, I think even with a healthy Deshaun Watson, it's going to be tough to beat this team. And so why risk the chance that he gets hit and falls on that shoulder and then he's out significantly longer? And we're sitting here in weeks 6, 7, 8 talking about how the season's over because we're 2-4, 2-5 because DTR has to play quarterback the rest of the year. It's
God, or PJ Walker,
PJ
XFL
Walker.
MVP, XFL MVP, PJ Walker.
Yeah, it's very. I just don't know if I would be okay with him playing, and that's just me being brutally honest here. This 49ers team is legit, and I just think that they have. I think they have to be number one in any power ranking there is right now, and then everybody else after that.